Hey, welcome back to Mike's Trains. This is probably going to be the last video for this train station in this series. We're going to finish this up tonight. So let's look at what we've done so far. So what I've done is I've added the lights in here, and I did what I originally intended in the last video. Is there's a strip of lights here, a strip of lights here. There are 6 on each. And then there's a strip of lights here. There are 6. There are 6 here. And then the same on this side. And then if I can pull this back out, you can see the wiring. It comes through the 2 strips are tied together. They come through the wall right here, and they come across the front. And the same on this other side, and they come through the gap in the wall here, and then there's the 2 strips of lights here, and then I use CA and I glued the wiring down, and everything meets here, and then it comes out in the front here. It comes out right here. There's a hole. I left a pretty long lead of wire because I'm not sure how the wiring is going to end up when I set this on my father's layout. And give you a quick look as to how that looks. So there we go. And that's pretty much how it's going to look. Let's see if I can get you in a little closer so you can see what's going on. Let me turn off this other light. There, now you can see. It looks pretty good. I think I'm happy with it. You can see the interior there. It shows through. The same with over here. And then the lower half. From what I can see in the viewfinder here, you can't really see the backdrop I put in the lower windows, but it is there and it does show fairly well. So that's how it came out. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think I did okay. So now the next step is to finish this whole building up. And not to, well, let me back up a second. This is only running off of a 9-volt battery. Like I said in the past, I'm going to have this running off a 12-volt source that's not adjustable. So I had to cheat a little bit because I don't want to add anything into the wiring here extra. I could put resistors in to drop it down to 9 volts, but I don't have any, and I really don't want to take the time to do that. So I kind of cheated on these 2 sides here. Obviously, you know, 2 rows of 6 bulbs in here are a little bit much. So I ended up blacking out the 4 center bulbs here and the 4 center bulbs here, so that there's only 4 bulbs. There's 2 and 2 LEDs showing right there, and the same on the other side. And then in the center, it's the full out. There are 6 and then 6. That was the quick, easy way to adjust the lighting. So that's what got done for that. Now the next part of this is, I told you I was gonna frost over these roof panels, and these are now frosted over. As you can see, when you look through these, you can't really see the building through very well, and that's what the frosting does. And all I did was I took matte clear on the back side, and I just light misted the whole thing, and it just made them not so clear. So when things aren't right on top of them, you can't really see through all that well. You can see a little bit of color, but not really all that much. So these will get glued on, you know, across the roof panels here and on the sides. But before I put these on, I wanna touch on these corners here. These aren't 100% matching. In the process of building this, they are a little bit off. So what I'm gonna do with those is I'm gonna take my file. Where's my file? Right here. And all I did was I'm going around and I'm just filing so that they're flush and even. I did the front side already, so now I'm just going to do the back side. I can feel this is a little bit off, so I'm just going to take this like this. See, now everything matches pretty well. So the other thing I've done up until now, just to get you up to speed, is I took the white caulk that I've used everywhere else and I sealed all the way around here. I didn't glue these down because I want to make this so that if my father at some point decides he wants to put figures inside here, I want to be able to pull these roof panels off. So I just ran a bead, I set them in place, and I ran a bead of caulk all the way around. And I know it looks horrible, but that'll get fixed. And in the meantime, they're glued in, they're nice and tight, but if I need to take them out, it's just a matter of running a sharp X-Acto blade hobby knife right down the seam all the way around, and these roofs will pop right out without any trouble. And then we'll do the same with this center one here. I'll go all the way around the four sides of that. So the next thing we've got to do is we're going to take some black paint and we're going to paint that white caulk. I put that on a while ago, so it's pretty dried at this point. So let's go ahead and we'll put some black paint over that. And I know it's not going to match 100%, but we have a fix for that. I'll do one side and I'll show you how we're going to do that. So I've got the black paint right here, and take a little bit in the cap. So there we go. That's how we want to do that. So that kind of looks like, let's see if I can get you a look at that. So now we've covered that up like that, and let's see. Right there. So you can see I've covered over all the caulk, and then I've gone up the edge just a little bit. I'm going to hit this again right there, but that's all I need on there. And then we're going to let that dry. I'm not going to paint the whole thing, don't need to. I'm going to paint the other side real quick right now. Okay, so that's what we end up with. Alright, and when that's dry, we'll move on to the next step. We've got a little bit more touch up to do. around this whole thing. Alright, so now I have the trim color that's going to go all in this area. So we're going to hit that real quick in the corners that we filed down. Just like that. Like that, and there we go. So now I'm just going to hit in the corners right here. Because remember, I resealed all of this with the caulk as well, so I have to touch up what got covered in there with the caulk. Up there. Okay. So now all those corners are done. Now I know that I might have some where it doesn't belong, but that's okay. We're going to take care of that next. I'm going to go clean my brush, and then we'll move on to the next. Okay, so now we're going to touch up this actual surface here. So I have some white that goes in here that needs to be touched up, and what I did was I took more of this paint, I put it in a small cup here, and I'm just going to dab it in the paint, and I'm just going to dab it in there best I can. It's never going to be exact, and this brush has a little of something else on it, which is okay. It just adds a little bit to the weathering. I'm kind of liking that. And then we'll just wipe it down like that. Okay? We just go around all the seams like that. Okay, so we'll call that done. Now that's all finished. Now we're going to tackle the roof, and I'll show you the process I'm going to use for this. I'll do the two sides, and then the center I'll do off camera, but it's all the same. Let me get my stuff for that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the roof, what I have here is I have some fine white sand, and I just happen to have some graphite. I don't know. That's what I used. I dropped a little bit in there and I shook it all up, and it gives me this colored, dark colored sand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush here, and I have just plain white glue right here, and I'm just going to paint the roof just on the flat of it with the white glue. Okay, so now let's set this down. I'm going to take a little bit of this sand, just going to dump it in here and a little bit over here. And I'm just going to take this and shake it around. Like that, and then we'll dump it out. And that's what we're left with. It's I like the look. I use it on my N scale stuff, and it gives it that used roof kind of look, the gritty sand look right here. Let me get you a closer look at that. Let me stick something under here to hold it up. Okay. Like that. So that's what you're ending up with. And then when that all dries, then I'll put the tops of the vents on, and I'll probably, I don't know, I'm thinking I might paint those silver, and then I can actually glue on the center roof panel, the clear roof panel, and it's a nice nice detail, and it looks better than just the black roof like that. It looks like something that should be there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all the other two roof panels just like that, and we'll come back when that's done. Alright, so this is what it looks like all done. There are a few small details that still have to be put on. I have to put the ventilation caps on the top here, and obviously the decal across the top, the clock face, and then there are some awnings that go over these side doors. But pretty much this is how it's gonna look. So, see if I can get you up over the top. You can see what the frosted windows look like. That's with the lights, so you can't really see in. There's no big detail. That's the roof completed. So, let's see. So that's all I have for you today. So that's the whole completed train station for as far as we're going to go in this video. The next updates will be on my website and photos, so don't forget to visit my website. That's mikestrains.wordpress.com to see the updated photos and the whole completed train station. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you haven't liked the video, please do. Lets me know that things are going in the right direction. And that's it for this week. So until next time, happy modeling. See you next time. Bye.